Good late morning, early afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Smelling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and a very merry, decidedly not stupid o'clock to one and all. As always, folks, we start out my weekends with that horrible world known as the JRC. Now, we're going to have two videos today on that front because we have some breaking news in regards to the FDA and the DC Circuit Court. Before I get to that juicy stuff, we are going to go ahead and start where we left off. But first, a few disclaimers. First off, folks, you will find the link to the document we are going through right there in the description box, as well as the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shock campaign. Most importantly, the templates link, fill it out. The Ostica Hoya massive archive on the JRC, please pull it up. It's in the description. We also have my very first video, at least as of April, in regards to the situation in Canton, Massachusetts. So if you are new to this channel and have no idea what I'm talking about, please click on that video. It's going to explain a good deal. Take a look at the other videos. We have gone into this case in quite a bit of depth. Also, the change.org closed down the Judge Rotenberg Center petition. Let's face it, folks, the only way we are going to stop this horrific place from continuing to perpetuate torture and abuse on more vulnerable people is to close them down. So, please sign the petition, share it on all your social media platforms. Okay, so with that being said, folks, when we were talking about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and sometimes see video clips from a video surveillance camera footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you have young ones present, please use your headphones. And as we know, when I do these videos, always during my first video, always, I usually end up stumbling over my words at some point, so my apologies in advance. So, we are going over the review of policies and procedures that contributed to the incident in 2007 and the changes that have been made since 2007. So, we're about to read a bunch of apologist garbage, which is actually going to do absolutely nothing to keep those students safe. So, I'm probably going to rant. I'll do my best. Let's get started. After a review of the August 2007 incident, reports completed by state agencies, JRC's own internal review of what occurred, oh yes, we're going to trust what they said. Even in spite of the fact that their head person who created this place went to go and try and destroy the evidence, still, we're going to trust their internal review. Okay, Judge. Whatever. Documents related to the JRC's policies and procedures and interviews with JRC staff, it is clear that several JRC policies and procedures contributed to the August 2007 incident. Gee, ya think, Judge? Their entire culture that they cultivate there of humiliation and psychological and physical torture of disabled people is what created the environment for the 2007 incident to happen. How can you be so dense? For example, staff were uncertain about the ability of a member of quality control to order the phone GED applications. An inexperienced staff person was assigned to the role of supervisor and failed to take the required lead during the crisis. Oh, yes, again, we're going to use the staff as the ugly ducklings and the scapegoats, aren't we? JRC's policies and procedures for verifying the identity of a caller were insufficient to protect from prank callers. Again, they made that environment. They made it an environment where staff would not and refused to question when told to do horrific acts on disabled people. How about addressing that, Judge? Oh, yes, no, we can't go into why the JRC does their treatment as they do. Isn't that right? There was also a lack of supervision accountability for the staff in the quality control department. There is a lack of accountability for that entire freaking center. Spare me, Judge. In addition to these policies and procedures, work environment issues were also identified as possible contributors to the August 2007 incident, including staff fear to question the DVR monitoring department, to exercise independent judgment and verification, as well as distrust of the evaluation department and evaluation system. We remember from Jennifer Masamba's story that they cultivate an environment where literally the staff is not allowed to question the monitor. They are just supposed to obey and shock the student. Period. And it is still that way to this day, in spite of this so-called report and the incidents from 2002 and 2007. God. This portion of the report, Section 5, addresses each of the issues that contributed to the August 2000 incident by the subject areas, except for the glaring elephant in the room. First, we discussed what went wrong during the incident. The whole system is wrong, Judge. Again, elephant room. Next, we described steps taken by JRC in the wake of the incident. Finally, we explore the current policies and procedures in effect today, which does nothing to keep anyone safe. Section 6 of this report provides recommendations for additional measures JRC could take to further address the issues identified in the wake of the August 2007 incident. I've got a recommendation. Close it down. Stop this. Stop treating people with disabilities and mental issues as less than human. That's a thought. Just saying, Quality control and monitoring. The Quality Control Department is charged with all of the video and audio surveillance of the JRC school property and residences, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Creepy voyeur sons of bitches. The staff who work within this department are seasoned JRC employees who are well versed in the policies and procedures of the center, able to recognize violations of such policies and take steps to correct the behavior. Oh my God, and you're just going to say they're wonderful, aren't you? During the daytime, the monitoring department at 240 Turnpike Street campus monitors live feed of the school and its surrounding area. Simultaneously, at the 250 Turnpike Street building, the DVR department supervises the monitoring department at the 240 building and downloads, reviews, and saves necessary footage. You mean to cover their own ass for torturing us? In the evening, when all of the students return to the residences, the DVR department takes over monitoring all the video feed at the residences. Members of Quality Control Department are also stationed at the residences in various capacities. Oh, great. Now they get to be close to home and go ahead and shock that student that's asleep. Perfect. Issues identified following the 2007 incident. Oh God, I gotta take a breath on this one, folks. Apparently my allergies agree with me. Why has allergy season not stopped? Anyways, issues identified following the 2007 incident. It is apparent from the events that unfolded on August the 26th, 2007. I'm just waiting for the garbage fire to come out of his mouth now. That there was a lack of accountability and supervision of the DVR monitoring staff at the time. There still is. There were 3 DVR monitors on shift from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. Oh my God, here we go with the useless information again. But there was no system to ensure that the monitors carried out their assignments. Or you can close the place down and they won't have to worry about it. The monitor assigned to the Stoughton residence that morning failed to scroll through residential views and failed to make auditory scans of the residences continuously throughout his shift. When the monitor assigned to the Stoughton residence took his break, one of the other 2 monitors was required to monitor both of their assignments at the same time. Good God. Scapegoat, 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 scapegoat. Monitoring staff used time at the start of their shift to check work email. DVR monitoring staff was unable to get through to the Stoughton residents when they realized something was wrong because the only phone line was in use. All the excuses in the world. The monitoring staff failed to check the Stoughton residents' camera views because it was not a residence of concern. Additionally, the direct care staff at Stoughton residence did not understand that DVR monitoring did not have the authority to order GED applications over the phone, according to JRC policy in place at the time of the incident. Then why did they automatically obey? If that was something that was not normally done and against policy, then why did they jump to obey? I call bullshit, Judge. Moving on. Changes made at JRC. Oh, now they're going to blow smoke up our ass, folks. Following the August 2007 incident, JRC installed in-residence DVR monitoring systems at all residences where the GED is used and staffed each residence with an overnight in-house monitor. Oh, that's going to make it better. So let me get this straight. We're going to add more monitors so that they can target more behaviors and torture and deprive them of sleep more often. Thanks, Judge. Who's responsible for monitoring that residence for the evening and supervising any adversive treatment, including GED applications. There shouldn't be adversive treatments at all, you sick son of a bitch. JRC increased the number of quality control staff by 15. In the DVR office at 250 Turnpike, there is a designated shift supervisor who assigns duties to other staff, monitors staff during shifts, and performs random checks on DVR staff to ensure they are scrolling through the residents' screen views. Shifts for DVR staff overlap by 30 minutes to allow staff to complete paperwork and respond to work emails. The Quality Control Department sends out the end-of-shift reports to the JRC administrators with information about any incidents that occurred over the course of the shift. But to no one else. There is no outside authority they have to hold themselves accountable to. So what does that mean, boys and girls? JRC can say we made the necessary changes and probably change absolutely nothing at all. We will never know because these people are given so much goddamn leverage, it's insane. The monitoring shift supervisor also sends out a daily email to each residence at the start of each shift to identify which DVR monitor will be monitoring each residence and what extension she can be reached at. This identification of DVR monitors for each residence is in addition to a pre-existing requirement that DVR monitors call the residences they are responsible for at the start of each shift in order to identify themselves as the monitor for that shift. Key views of every residence are identified for DVR staff, which must be kept open at all times during the shift. However, DVR staff is primarily responsible for monitoring residences that do not have in-home monitors. In addition to the end-of-shift reports sent to the senior management by monitoring shift managers, in-house monitors must also send reports to senior management at the end of each shift. Okay, there's several things we're not addressing, Judge. Number one, the severe invasion of privacy of these students in these residences while you all have them on camera 24 goddamn 7, where they are on view all the damn time. They get no privacy from anyone. Is nobody going to address this? It's for their safety. Bullshit, Judge. Would you say if I put a security camera on you 24 hours a day and I said to you, well, it's for your safety, you would start arguing with me immediately. But there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with them either. They deserve more than to be viewed like freaking insects behind a magnifying glass. Just saying. The Director of Quality Control, the overnight school supervisor, and other administrators perform spot checks on the DVR and monitoring staff several times each day. The DVR training program was modified to train staff to be aware of the possibility of similar incidents. Summary of current policies and procedures according to staff role. We will start on that one tomorrow, folks. I am just going to go ahead and finish this out with some final thoughts here. Throughout this report, this judge has bent over backwards to defend the very culture that spawned this event and the event in 2002 with Andre McCollins, defending how they treat their students there, their programs, even their freaking food contingent program, and their bizarre behavioral lessons. It is literally someone willfully closing their eyes, sticking their fingers in their ears, and humming as loud as they can so they can ignore the giant-ass elephant in the room. And what is the elephant in the room, folks? That all of this is wrong. All of it. People with disabilities should not be treated so subhuman that you use punishments against them due to quote-unquote behaviors that come from their own damn neurology. It is disgusting. But the judge and the Massachusetts courts, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see it. And how on earth can you force these people who have so much power over these lives of people who are so vulnerable to try to get them to understand what is going on in this school and what is happening to these kids when they refuse to listen? I wish I had an answer for you. We have video surveillance footage. We have 2 massive events. We have survivor testimonies. We have medical documents. We have hospital documents. We have behavioral sheets. We have evidence on top of evidence, and yet still, there they are. just like this judge here has done throughout the entirety of this report, closing their eyes, plugging their ears, humming as loud as they can to avoid the elephant in the room. Until we can get these people to stop willfully ignoring the pain and suffering of these kids who are having trauma and torture and abuse inflicted upon them every single day, 24 hours a day, then this issue will never be solved. Until a court will have some damn balls and do the right thing and close this place down, we're going to have to keep having this conversation. And on those horrible thoughts, we're going to go ahead and close out today, at least until the next video. Now, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments, feed that algorithm. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.